Business news now with Stephen Carroll. Hi there, Stephen.
Hi, Catherine.
We're going to start off with this very important story in the world of business and economy. The price of oil continuing to rise today.
This after the landmark deal by the oil producers cartel OPEC. They agreed to cut production for the first time in 8 years. That news sent oil prices soaring in trading on Wednesday. The rise continuing in trading today. Brent crude, which is the international benchmark for oil prices, now over $52 a barrel, rises to on the WTI measure in the United States. OPEC's members account for around a third of global oil production, but Russia has also agreed to take part in this production cut. So who wins and who loses from this agreement? Andrew Hillier has been finding out.
OPEC's landmark deal is set to shake up the world oil market. The aim is to slow production, forcing prices up. Good news for big producers like Saudi Arabia and its neighbours in the Gulf. Even better news for countries like Venezuela. Lower prices have left Caracas short of cash to pay for its public spending programs. Another big winner could be shale oil producers in the US. Oil is typically more expensive to extract from shale wells than conventional wells. One of the reasons Saudi Arabia began pumping so much oil was to push shale wells in the US out of business. If crude oil prices go back up, it could boost the appeal of the shale industry. But not everyone will be better off. Airlines are set to pay higher fuel bills. They could be forced to pass on the higher costs to customers, meaning fares go up. What's good news for oil producers could also be bad news at the pump. For years, the price of oil has plummeted, making it cheaper to drive. With OPEC set to slam the brakes on production, a rise in petrol prices now seems inevitable.
That OPEC deal, a big story for the stock markets as well. Although at the open in Europe, we're not seeing the same gains that we had in the United States and in Asia earlier. European shares opening pretty close to the flat line, in fact. Oil companies, though, are among the big gainers. The mining companies also on the way up. Just a couple of examples of those energy companies doing well. BP up by 3%, Shell up by 2%. Over in Asia, we also saw gains for oil companies in the back of that OPEC deal, although falls in airline shares, interestingly, of course, because that will impact them, as we were just hearing. Investors also taking some cheer from a new survey showing growth in China's manufacturing sector. Some more of the day's business headlines for you next. Fitbit is said to be in talks to buy the crowd-funded smartwatch pioneer Pebble. The startup rose to prominence for its record-breaking fundraising on the website Kickstarter, which had earned $20 million for its Pebble time watch. The Financial Times says that Fitbit is offering a low price for Pebble, though, as the company's been struggling to compete with the likes of Apple. China is introducing an additional 10% tax on luxury so-called supercars. The brands affected include Lamborghini, Bentley and Rolls-Royce. Authorities say the levy is aimed at cutting emissions and curbing excessive spending. And fake apps on the Android mobile operating system have taken control of more than 1 million Google accounts since August, according to new research. The security firm Checkpoint says the malicious software exploited flaws in older versions of Android. It estimates the fraudulent apps have been infecting 13,000 devices a day.
Right, just one final business news story for you. We've got news of a record-breaking year for the film studio that specialises in happy ever afters.
Yes, indeed. One more good story out of Disney, which has so far generated more than $6 billion globally on its films. In North America, 3 of the 5 top-grossing movies were Disney creations. Those include the likes of Finding Dory and Doctor Strange and the recently released Moana. Now, industry analysts are saying this record-breaking year was a long time in the making. It comes after Disney bought Lucasfilm and Pixar and, of course, the Marvel brand of films as well. They still have another big release to come. The latest Star Wars film, Rogue One, opens in cinemas in just a couple of weeks. This big year for Disney could be about to get even bigger.
Indeed, Star Wars pretty popular. I think I can.
I've heard that, yeah.
I can confidently make that tip. Thanks very much, Stephen Carroll, our business editor.